Very good evening, students. Welcome to video class. I hope you all are fine. Right? All of you stay home, stay safe, learn well. Okay. Students, we are in the chapter animal reproduction. Right? In previous classes, we learned what is reproduction and ways of reproduction and the structure of an egg and life cycle of an hen and life cycle of butterfly and life cycle of an cockroach. Right? So reproduction means the process by which animals produce young ones of their own kind is known as reproduction, right? Animals reproduce in two ways, by laying eggs or by giving birth to young ones, right? Students, today we are going to know life cycle of a frog and reproduction in reptiles and animals that give birth to babies. Okay, before going to that, first look at the similarities between fish and frogs. Okay, students, we know fish are aquatic animals that live in ponds, rivers, lakes, seas and oceans, right? They lay hundreds of eggs at one time. Okay, some eggs and baby fish are eaten by bigger fish. The ones that are left grow into adult fish. They breathe through their gills, right? And how are fish and frogs alike? Both fish and frog lay their eggs in water. Okay. The young ones of both breathe through their gills. How are frogs and fish different? Okay. A fish dies when taken out of water. Okay. But a frog can live both on land and in water. Okay, because it is an amphibian, right? So amphibians lives both on land and in water also. Okay. So students, now we are going to know life cycle of a frog. Okay. So the mother frog here lays hundreds of eggs in water. Okay. After laying eggs, the eggs hatch into tadpoles. Okay. A tadpole is a very different from an adult frog. It has a tail but no legs. It feeds on pond weeds and breathes through the feathery gills on each side of its head. Okay. After a few weeks, the legs of the tadpole grow. The tadpole starts losing its tail. It begins to look like its parent. Okay. Like frog. When fully grown, the frog completely loses its tail. It comes out of the pond and starts living on damp land, eating insects, beetles, and worms. Okay. An adult frog breathes through the lungs on land and through the moist skin in water. Okay. Students, this is all about life cycle of a frog. Okay. Students, now let's watch small video about life cycle of a frog.
Frog is an amphibian. It lives both on land and in water. The life history of a frog starts in water. It has three stages in its life history. They are the egg, the larva, and the adult. Egg. The eggs of a frog float on water. The eggs are surrounded by a jelly-like substance. They are incubated by the warmth of sunlight. In about 10 to 15 days, a larva comes out of the egg. Larva. The newly hatched larva has a large head, a small trunk, and a short tail. It has no mouth. There is a sucker at the anterior end on the ventral side. The larva attaches itself to the weeds by means of the sucker. It has two pairs of external gills for respiration. In a week, the larva develops into a tadpole larva. The tadpole larva resembles a small fish. It develops a mouth, a third pair of external gills, and a tail. The jaws have teeth. It feeds on plants. The intestine is coiled like a watch spring. The tail increases in size. It helps in swimming. Metamorphosis. A series of changes take place in the tadpole, internally and externally, to transform it into an adult frog. The tadpole larva of a frog is fish-like. It lives in water and breathes through gills. It grows in size and slowly transforms into a frog. During this transformation, the forelimbs appear. At the same time, gills disappear and lungs will develop. At this stage, the small frog leaves water as it cannot breathe with lungs in water. The tail persists for some more time, but finally disappears. The marked change in the form of an animal during development is called metamorphosis. The metamorphosis in a frog is initiated by a hormone called thyroxine. This is secreted by a gland known as thyroid.
Students, next we are going to know reproduction in reptiles. Okay. So reptiles are vertebrates, right? Because they have backbone. Okay. And they have scaly and dry skin, right? Lizards, crocodiles, alligators, snakes, and turtles are all reptiles. Okay, they lay eggs in the safe place on the ground. The eggs are warmed by the heat of the sun. After a few days, the baby reptiles hatch out from the eggs. Okay, all of you see here in this picture. Okay, lizards, snakes, and turtles do not look after their young ones. Crocodiles look after their young ones for a short period. Okay, so this is the reproduction in reptiles. So this is all about animals reproduce by laying eggs. Okay, students, next we are going to know animals reproduce by giving birth to young ones, or animals that give birth to babies. Okay. So, animals that give birth to young ones and feed them on their milk are called mammals. Okay. So, mammals belongs to vertebrates, right? Because mammals have backbone, right? Most mammals have hair on their bodies and external ears, right? Humans, dogs, cats, horses, lions, bears, and elephants are some examples of mammals. Dolphins and whales look like fish, but they are mammals. Even bats are mammals. The baby develops inside the mother's body. It stays inside the mother's body for several weeks or months and is then born. Okay. The mother feeds the baby with her own milk and protects it until it learns to look after itself. Okay. Babies grow big, strong, and healthy with their mother's milk. Okay. And some features that differentiate mammals from other animals are most mammals give birth to fully formed young ones, right? They feed their young ones with their own milk, and they look after their young ones until the young ones are old enough to look after themselves. Okay. All mammals give birth to fully formed young ones, right? But the spiny anteater and the duck-billed platypus are the only mammals that lay eggs. Okay. So students, in this class we learnt life cycle of frog and reproduction in reptiles and animals that give birth to babies, right? If you have any doubt, ask in online session. All of you should follow given worksheet. Thank you, students.